A new law just went into effect banning most popular vape devices in Wisconsin. Northern News Now, Sophia Lauber heard from unlikely allies against the bill, learning why a vape shop and the American Lung Association are actually in agreement on this one.
Supporters of the ban say the law was designed to protect kids from vaping. But those with Ignite Dispensary here in Superior say their business will take a hit. Ignite spokesperson Timothy Fry says vape products account for roughly a quarter of their sales. But his frustration with the new law goes beyond business impacts.
People are just buying these things online. That's the biggest problem. I mean, I literally used my 4-year-old son's information and got a NIC device shipped to me.
Fry claims the law will only strengthen what he calls big tobacco, while not strengthening enforcement.
I agree that we need to get this stuff out of children's hands and everything else, but there's a better approach to do this than prohibition.
Surprisingly, those at the American Lung Association agree that the law will be confusing, costly, and ineffective.
The American Lung Association does not feel like these laws have shown a public health benefit. We really think they're a diversion for what we know works.
They say raising the age requirement and price of vapes are more effective tools. The Wisconsin law bans all vape products without FDA authorization, leaving only 3 manufacturers able to sell in the state, one of which is R.J. Reynolds, manufacturer of Camel and Newport cigarettes. The association agreeing with Fry that big tobacco is to blame.
They are a powerful lobby. It's obvious when you look at the list who could benefit from that.
Product currently still on the shelves here needs to be gone by September 1st. After that, businesses selling certain vape products could face a fine. In Superior, Sophia Lauber, Northern News Now.
Friday, other small vape shop representatives have filed a lawsuit now against the state.